Today is Friday, November the 5th. Just went and picked up a load of hay, and my driveway's a good downhill here. So that's how I have to handle hay since 2014, because I had a Case 580B rubber tire backhoe that I bought cheap because it didn't drive forward or reverse, and I fixed it, and I had new bushings made up and new pins for the backhoe and stuff years ago, and I cut the old ones out for the backhoe bucket and for the front bucket, and because it was all sloppy. And I fixed the cab up that had some, holes in it and cracks and stuff like that. And my ex-wife, when I was out of town after we separated, she came here and sold it out from underneath me for next to nothing, from what I understand. And I haven't had a tractor since. I can use the forklift in the summertime and in the spring once it dries up a little bit, and in the fall here. But once we get snow, even with chains on, it's useless. It's okay once I get a bale on, but it's getting to the bale that's the problem, because that counterweight on the back end of that Heister forklift weighs 5,000 pounds, and it's like dragging a log behind a big huge tree behind you, because the tires just don't want to roll until you get a load on the forks. And once I get a bale on, then it's fine. I've tried it in past winters, and it's just too much of a pain, so I end up just hooking a chain onto the bales and dragging with my pickup, and then pushing them with the front bumper into place and pushing them over, and then throw the hay ring on. To answer Dawn's question on the last video, the price of hay, the guy I was buying from for many years that sold out his farm this summer, where I picked up all his leftover hay there. I was paying for many years $50 a bale, and then it went up to $60, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. But they were 800-pound bales. I put them on my scale on my boom truck. They would weigh anywhere from 805 to about 811. These ones here that are from a guy that bought that farm, that also has another farm, but he basically just bought that farm for the land, for hay and crops and stuff like that, for his dairy operation. And these bales here now cost me $80 Canadian, but they're 1112 to 1112 pounds, and they're net wrapped. But I see this trip I got two bales. I got orange baler twine on them, but all these other bales I got from him, they've all got net wrap. 2 out of the 3 today that I got had this orange baler twine on it. This one here that I got today has the net wrap. So I guess he's got 2 different balers, I guess. So to answer that is $80 a bale, but up from 60, but I'm getting 1,100-pound bales now. These are bigger bales. Actually, the hay ring, when I put that one bale out for the cows, it was only about 6 inches of room between the hay bale feeder and the bale. With those other bales that I was getting, it was like a good foot or more, 1.5 feet actually, of room between it. And he stores all his hay inside, so it doesn't get black on the outer layer, which to me never mattered because I just fed it to the pigs. I have one left down there, and I have one on the forklift that I brought up here that I'm going to put on the ground right here, ready for the winter time. Get down, girl. Get down. Get down. I didn't put it there yesterday because it was too wet and I would get stuck. Also, this thing is hard starting in the wintertime. Even plugged in, I usually back it in here, and then I got to take a Tiger torch and heat up the hydraulic tank before I start it, because even though it's got Duratran oil in it, which is a lighter oil, and it's oil bath clutch in the forklift. You see, I got that tote of feed in here. I put it in here with the forklift yesterday. And see, this is what happens. These bags cost me $35 Canadian. And the darn squirrels chew a hole in it. This bag was brand new. The last, when I got this one filled last. And already after one filling, this bag's got a hole in it. And that's $35 gone. But as long as it doesn't get ripped open bigger, it'll be okay for a while. Today, you can see it's overcasted. It was quite foggy this morning, and it wasn't really misting rain, but there was like, when I was driving down the road, my mirrors kept fogging over. So it's like really damp, and it still is really damp. It's about 46 degrees out with a cool wind, just a light wind about maybe 5 miles an hour. And it's a load of free popper I got green that I went to Lakeshore Drive and picked up from a doctor that I was doing that boat project for. He hired a company to come in and cut 7 trees down and cut them up into firewood. And I had a kid come and use my electric wood splitter and split it all up. It'll be good for springtime firewood for when it's not that cold. It would be good this time of year when it's not that cold, but it's too green. It'll just boil water. So you can see the fire in the house is going. And in case anybody's wondering, this boom truck / dump truck back here, I haven't got back to it yet to try it out. I did hook up the dump cylinder hose for the dump box. I hooked up that hose yesterday while it was nice and warm and dry, and I have the pressure gauge hooked up here ready, but let's see, it's hooked right into here on the pressure side. So I haven't started it up to test it yet. Let's see if I can lift this building about 8 inches. It has to come up 8 inches this way, and this corner has to come up about 6 inches. So basically the whole thing's got to come up 8 inches, and that side's got to come up 8 inches higher. But I assume when I lift it, that will lift up pretty level. But I've been so busy trying to get other things done in the warmer weather here that I haven't got back to that yet. But I did hook that hose up, like I said, yesterday. And I had to clean this out and get the 2 pallets out of here that had the 2 bags of 2 1-ton totes of feed on it all summer. And that's the insulation to go in the trailer that I showed you the other day. I've been bagging it up and in bags and stuffing it in there. The reason why it's so wet on the ground here is there's a pinhole in this hose from me driving over it with the forklift and the pickup truck and dragging hay bales over it with the pickup truck, because one day it was too wet to get the forklift down there to get a bale of hay for the cows. And the brass fitting on that connection there on the left hand side. On the left hand side? No, on the right hand side. It's cracked. So it's been slowly leaking, and I haven't bothered to fix it because it won't be long now and the hoses will be frozen solid. So in a way it's kind of good that it's leaking because it's keeping the water moving so it doesn't freeze. But it probably freezes at the nipple and they don't get water till later in the morning as it warms up. So that was $240 for Canadian for the 3 bales. Like I say, it went up to $80.60, but also the weight of the bales have also gotten a lot bigger and heavier. And there's Mr. Bull laying there chewing her cud. And there's a mama cow that lost her calf in the spring because it was premature. And you can see how much of that bale now they've eaten down. There's the one heifer there. And the other heifer is the far black one over there. And there's mama cow, the red one. And there's baby calf there. You can see his white face there, just shot his nose up there next to mama. I wish I had a plow truck to do my own plowing because it costs me $125 every time it snows, and he doesn't really plow much other than the driveway, and he doesn't plow it wide enough for me, so it closes in during the winter. And I used to plow all in here so I had room for stuff, and I used to plow out onto the field out there so I could feed out there. So the last 2 winters since the ring gear went in my plow truck, I've been having to feed right there, which makes a hell of a mess come springtime there. And then I have to rent a mini excavator and clean it all up and load it in a dump truck. And on this side here with the skirting pulled away, I stuffed old tarps and plastic in there to try and stop the wind. I crawled underneath this porch and got underneath where the doorway is there because it's pretty drafty, the doorway, and I went under there with those bags of insulation to try and stuff in the floor, but the insulation from the flood from one side to the other is down on the ground, and it would cost me freaking hundreds of dollars to put insulation up in there and then nail something to hold it in place. And there's just no room to get underneath there because since the flood being as clay, all the railway ties sunk in the ground, 2 railway ties deep. And I can't get under the steel frame. There's just no room. So I abandoned that But I did put 3 bats around the doorway part of the floor. I don't know if it'll help any. How do you get a shepherd to stop jumping up? I've tried with electric collar. I have tried telling her no constantly and pinning her head to the ground, and she just won't quit. I've tried everything. Next, almost beating her. No! Get down! And she just won't stop. She's a year. Stop it! No! She's about a year old now, a little over a year old. I think a year and 2 months. I'm really disappointed in these pigs' growth. But I'm going to keep 3 of them for breeding, 1 boar and 1 female. Or 2 females, sorry. 3, not 2, 3 females. 3 females and the 1 boar. And I know that the boar is a Berkshire, Yorkshire cross. And that's why he's so much bigger. And I don't know where the heck he is right now. He's got the big curly tail. I think it's this guy right here. Yeah. You see the black spots on him. See on the back there? He's got one right in the middle. And he's bigger than the rest of them. Yeah, B99, so that means B is for boar. I can't even get around. Usually his tail's curled up, but it's hard to, yeah, you can see his testicles on the back end there. So the 1 heifer and the 1 cow is just, they're all lazing around. They've been pigging out on that hay like crazy. They were like big balloons yesterday. I serviced both my generators, ready for the winter. They're all gassed up with store and go fuel stabilizer. Along with all the cans of gas I have, I run stabilizer in all my small engine stuff that I don't use regularly. So it keeps the carburetors from gumming up. I went and heifer there now, she laid down. Yeah, I really hope next summer I can demolish this trailer, find some place to put all my stuff. I'll probably put a lot of stuff in this trailer because there is some room in there, because there is a lot of tackle inventory and stuff in there, but there's some room in there. I can put boxes of dishes, and I have a whole pile of different size U-Haul mattress plastic bags that left from when I had the U-Haul dealership. Lots of U-Haul different stuff, travel bags that go on top of the roof of a car and stuff like that. So, and the fridge and stuff can just go into this tent garage, and stove and the washer and the dryer. I actually just winterized my washer in this trailer here last night. after I finish doing laundry, because that trailer I don't heat anymore since the boiler froze up and broke. Yeah, $6,000 boiler. I might be able to repair it once I get it out of there and take all the skin off it. I may be able to find out exactly where she split and cut the outer casing open and weld it up, and then weld the patch over the water tank. But I just haven't bothered because the big 1.25" copper loop that goes around the pipe, it's split in about 3 different places. Yeah, the direct vent for that boiler is right there on this trailer. And this boiler's not that old. You know, I had it replaced in, what, 2012 under warranty. And that's the vent there for it, with exhaust. It's fuel oil burner. The tank used to sit right here. And there's the fuel filter for it and the copper tubing. I just moved the tank out of the way so that the plow guy can wing snow right against the side. I moved it here. And I moved that box that's full of inventory from over here to over there, so that when I open this gate, he can plow straight through to where the bull is. Hey, Mr. Bully. He's a nice, friendly bull, that one. He didn't like me after we roped him and had to treat him with medication there when he had a bad foot there. So anyway, we're 25 minutes into this video, so I think we'll call it quits. I just wanted to show you how I unload the hay, since I don't have a tractor. And with the sides on the trailer, it's impossible to use the forklift. So, but in the winter time, as it gets ice on the deck of the trailer, because I don't get to shoveling it off every time it snows and rain and stuff, and then it's impossible to roll them off. So I usually park the boom truck. Last winter, I know I had it parked there, and I just plug it in the night before. I'd get hay and I'd throw a chain on it and pick them off with the boom truck and just drop them on the ground right there. But this year I think I'm going to park it in here, since now that I put this hydro pole in for my internet antenna up there. I also put in the yard light I put up there that comes on at dark and comes on at dark and goes off at dusk. And I put a 2-circuit plug-in on there, so one plug-in's on 120 amp breaker and the other plug-in's on a 15 amp breaker, which is running that light. And I just cut the brass bar between the 2 plugs, so one's on the top one's on a 20 and the bottom one's on a 15, and I can just plug the boom truck in right there. I'll just nose it in right here, short cord, boom, and I have the boom back here, and I can just pull the trailer up here, and I can dump hay bales all down in here. So anyway, have a good trip. And again, if you want to help people, and you're able to spare $1 or $2, please use the PayPal link listed below in the description. Or if you can have a spare $1 or $2, you can put towards my GoFundMe to help me try and rebuild. Please feel free to do so. I'm not begging, I'm just saying the options there. Have a great day. Oh, sorry, I stepped on you. That's what happens when you get tangled around my legs. Stepped on her foot. Okay, have a great weekend, guys, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.